Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to understand what is sys pop-up view, how we can modify the sys pop-up view, and how we can create a sys pop-up view. By the end of the videos, you will be able to understand what is sys pop-up view, how to modify it, and how to create it. So let's begin with the first objective, that is, what is sys pop-up view. On the screen, you can see that we had opened the incident form. And in the incident form, we can see a caller field, which is a reference field, and it is referencing the user table. And on the right side of the field, you can see this reference icon. So when we click on it, it is going to give us the information of a referencing record. So this is the sys pop-up view for the user table. So this is the sys pop-up view. And right now, this is the sys pop-up view for the user table. Similarly, you can see there is assignment group, which is also a reference field, and it is referencing the group table. Once we click on the reference icon, to get more details about the record, we can see the sys pop-up view for the group table. And that's how the sys pop-up view looks. It will look different for different table. For group table, it is looking like this. And for user table, it is looking like this. Next, we are going to see how we can modify this sys pop-up view for a particular table. Before we start configuring the sys pop-up view, there are a few things that we have to remember. First is that a user must have the personalize_form role for configuring the sys pop-up view. But most of the time you will be working with admin role, so you don't need to worry about the personalize_form. But if you do not have the admin role, then you have to check your user profile whether you have the personalize_form role in it or not. If it is not present, then ask the system admin to give you that personalize_form role. But you are working in your personal developer instance, so you are the admin of it and you can configure your user profile accordingly. Second is that avoid including multiple reference field in the sys pop-up view, because the sys pop-up view is used to give the brief information about the reference record. So do not include multiple reference field in the sys pop-up view. Just include the necessary information in it. And lastly is that sys pop-up view only displays the top section of the form. So let's see this with the help of a demo. Now, as you can see on the screen, that we had opened a problem record, and in the problem record there is a field first reported by, which is a reference field, and it is referencing the incident table. And this is the particular record which is being used here. If we click on the reference icon, it will show the sys pop-up view of the incident, which is giving us the information of this particular record. Now, what we are trying to achieve is that the sys pop-up view will only display the top section of the form. So if we open this record, now this is the incident form, and this is the top section which is being displayed by the sys pop-up view. There are other sections also available like notes, related records, resolution information, and these sections are not displayed by the sys pop-up view because the sys pop-up view only displays the top section of the form. So if we change the order of the sections, suppose if we go to the configuration of form layout, and we can see here form view and section. So these are the sections which are available on the incident form, and if we reorder the sections, and we are going to bring the related records to the top, okay, and we are going to save it. Now we can see that this is the top section and the incident section is this particular section. Now if we go back to the problem record, now according to you, when we click on the reference icon, what will you see? Correct, the top section of the form, and the top section of the incident form was related records. So if we click on this reference icon, now you can see it is saying related records. So the sys pop-up view will only display the top section of the form. There are two types of sys popup view. One is default sys popup view and the second one is non-default sys popup view. For changing or configuring the default sys popup view, you have to follow this particular URL format. Your instance name dot service-now.com slash for which table you are changing the sys popup view. This will be the reference table name dot do question mark with the query parameter sys param underscore view equals to sys underscore popup. So this is the particular URL format for default sys popup view configuration. For non-default sys popup view, you have to follow this URL format, which is a bit same as the default sys popup view, but in the query parameter, you have to add on the name of the view also, for which the sys popup view has to be changed. Okay, we are going to see the demo of the default sys popup view now, and once we create a new sys popup view, then we are going to see the demo of the non-default sys popup view, how we can configure that. Okay, so let's begin with the first one, how we can configure the default sys popup view. Now we are going to open the sys popup view for the user table because we are going to configure the sys popup view for the user table. So this is the sys popup view and we are going to use the similar URL format that we have seen for default sys popup view configuration. And why it is being set default sys popup view, we are going to understand that. So let's quickly open the sys popup view for the user table. So we are going to provide the reference table name, that is sys underscore user dot do with the query parameter of sys param underscore view equals to sys underscore popup. Okay, hit enter. This will redirect us to the sys popup view for the user table. And you can see on the screen there are fields available. So remember these fields right now which you are seeing on the screen: user ID, first name, last name, title, department, email, language, calendar integration. Okay, now we are going to go back and we are going to open this form. Now you're seeing the user record. And a few minutes back, we asked you to remember the field that you have seen on sys popup view. So you can see the field: first name, last name, title, department, email, language, calendar integration. Okay. And you're seeing the same view on the sys popup view also. Why this is happening? Because the user table does not have its own sys popup view. So if we click on additional actions and we go on views, we can see how many views are available: asset, business card, default view, ITRL, self-service, service portal, workspace. But there is no sys popup view available for the user table. So the sys popup view always use the top section of the default view if the table does not have its own sys popup view. Okay, and that's why it is called default sys popup view configuration. Now we are going to go back and now we have understood that why it is called default sys popup view configuration. So we are going to begin with the configuration of it. So if we click on reference icon, we are going to hide some of the fields like password needs reset, web service access only, internal integration user, photo. So these are the fields we are going to hide. So for changing the configuration of a sys popup view for the user table, we are going to use the URL format that we have seen. So we are going to pass sys underscore user the reference table name dot do with the query parameter sys param underscore view equals to sys underscore pop up. We are going to hit enter. Now this is pop-up view for the user table is using the default view top section because the user table does not have its own sys pop-up view. For configuration of it, click on additional actions, go to configure and select form layout. And here also you can see in the view name it is saying default view because the sys pop-up view is using the default view top section of the user table. And we are going to hide password, password needs reset, logged out, web service access only, internal integration user, photo, and we are going to save it. Now you can see in the URL we are on the sys pop-up view of the user table and we have hidden some of the fields. And if we go back to the incident record, so this is our caller field which is referencing the user table, and if we click on the reference icon we will not see all those fields which we have hidden. So we can see on the sys pop-up view of user table that we don't see the password, password needs reset, web service access only, integration user or photo field available in the sys pop-up view of user table. And let's see that the configuration that we have made on the default sys pop-up view of the user table is also made the changes on the default view of the user table. So if we open the record, yes, it does. So right now in the URL, you can see this is not a sys pop-up view. This is the particular default view, and which is also changed because we have made the configuration of default sys pop-up view, which is using the default view for the user table. Okay, so you have to be careful while you are configuring the default sys pop-up view because you are actually making a change on the default view of the user table. Now we are going to see how we can create the sys pop-up view for a table. On the screen, you can see the incident record is opened. And if we change the view of the incident form, so we click on additional actions and we change the view to self-service view. Okay. The form reloads and now the form will open in the self-service view. As you can see in the form header, view is self-service. But if we click on reference icon, when we click on it, we are seeing the sys pop-up view that is the default view. But we have to see the self-service view of the user table. Why? Suppose there is a user that can only view the self-service view of incident form. And when the user clicks on reference icon, the user must see the self-service view of the user table. But instead, the user is seeing additional information of it, and which is not a best practice. So if a user is having the access to the self-service view only, then for all the table, the user must see the self-service view only. In simple words, if the incident form is in self-service view, then if we click on the reference icon, it must also give us the self-service view of the user table. But it is giving the default view. For this, we are going to create a sys pop-up view for the self-service view in the user table. So if we open the record of user table, you can see the record opened in a self-service view. So here are fields like first name, last name, business phone, mobile phone, title, email, date, format, time zone. If we go back, click on the reference icon again, the layout is changed. It's a default layout, not a self-service view layout for user table. Okay, so we are going to create a sys pop-up self-service view in the user table. For this, we are going to open the record. We are going to click on additional actions, go to configure, form layout, and here in the view name, click on it, click on new, and give the view name sys underscore popup. comma ESS. The system name of self-service view is ESS. Now you can see the view name is here sys underscore popup ESS, and we are going to keep it similar to the self-service view. So we are not going to make any changes to the fields which are available on the self-service view. We are going to save it. Okay, now if we click on additional actions and we go to the view, we will be able to see one more option, that is sys underscore popup comma ESS. This is the view. If we click on it, so in the form header you can see view is sys underscore popup comma ESS. So this view is similar to the self-service view. Okay, now if we go back to our incident, now we are on the incident form, and what will happen if we click on the reference icon? Correct, you are going to see sys underscore popup comma ESS view. So if we click on the reference icon, it is showing us the sys underscore popup comma ESS view. If we open the record, so this view is sys underscore popup comma ESS. Okay, that's how you can create a sys popup view. Okay, now if you want to change the display name of it, all you have to do is that click on all in the filter navigator, type views, and you have to go to the system UI views, click on it, and if we order in descending order of updated column, we are going to see there is a view that we have recently created. So what we are going to do is that we are going to change the title of it. So if you are unaware how to give the title name of it, you can always consider the already built pop-up views. So we are going to search with the help of wildcard searches pop up. So we can see that how the names of the other sys pop-up view are given. So we can give our ESS view accordingly. So what we are going to do is that sys underscore popup underscore self-service. Now we have changed the title of our view that we have created, and if we go back to the incident record, the incident record view is self-service view. We click on the reference icon, we open the record. Now you can see in the form header that the view is sys underscore popup comma self-service, because we have changed the title of that particular view. Now let's see how we can configure the non-default sys pop-up view. So we have created a non-default sys pop-up view for self-service view, and we are going to configure it. The configuration is simple. We have to use the URL format that we have seen earlier by appending the query parameter with the view name. For the demo, we are going to make the configuration on the non-default sys pop-up view. We are going to hide the date format and the time zone from this sys pop-up view. For that, what we have to do is that give the reference table name for which the sys pop-up view has to be configured. So sys underscore user is the table with the query parameter sys param underscore view sys underscore popup comma ESS. Now you can see on the screen, click on additional actions, configure form layout. Now we can see the view name is sys underscore popup comma self-service, and we are going to hide the date format and time zone fields. We are going to save it. Now we can see that those two fields are hidden, and if we go back to our incident record, our incident record is in self-service view. If we click on the reference icon, we can see that the date format and time zone fields are not present on the sys pop-up view. So that's how you can configure the non-default sys pop-up view. Now the question is, We have made the configuration on sys popup view for the self-service view. Will it change the self-service view of user table? Just like when we made a configuration on default sys popup view, it made the changes on the default view of the user. Will this also make the changes to the self-service view of the user? Let's check it out. Open the record, and if we change the view to self-service view, we can see the date format and time zone is not present on the form. And if we change to self-service view, the date format and time zone fields are visible on the form. So it does not change the self-service view of the user, because we have created a new view that is called sys underscore popup comma self-service view, which was just a replica of self-service view of user table. So if we see that when we are configuring the default sys popup view, we are seeing the view name as default view. But when we are configuring a non-default sys popup view, we were configuring the sys underscore popup comma self-service view, which is the replica of self-service view. So from here we can identify that whatever the configuration we are making, is it going to affect the inbuilt views or not. So this was the end of the video. Try this thing on your personal developer instance. If you face any difficulties, write it down in the comment section. If you have any suggestions for new videos, write it down in the comment section. Share this video with others. If you like this video, click on like button. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.